Hi guys, here we are, EV Sportline, showcasing our DIY tint kit for the R1T and the R1S. Let's get into it. Today we're going to look at what comes in our DIY kit. You will get a different select of squeegees, different sizes, different angles, so that we can end up getting in those tight to reach areas. You're going to have an assortment of different cleaning tools, such as a scrub pad and straight razor blades, so that we can end up cleaning the glass. We will be doing so with some tint specific solution, just a couple of squirt into our bottle and we can create that solution. A towel so that we can end up drying up our work whenever we're done. A small pry tool so that we can end up getting the sweep out for an easier install. Tape so we can prepare and tape up the felt on the windows. A heat gun so that we can end up shrinking our film to fit our glass. And then some plastic door covers so that we can protect our interior. You're also provided with a hard card with some felt to end up pushing out small imperfections in the film whenever we're finished, as well as a tucking tool to help you tuck the film in those tight to reach areas as well. Next, we're going to talk about a little bit of prep work before we start tinting our windows. I already have all my tools laid out in front of me, ready to go. After that, we're going to need to consider the environment in which we're going to be working on our vehicle. It is preferred that we do it enclosed area, indoors, in between 60 to 80 degrees. That is so that whenever we apply the film, that the adhesive adheres to the glass properly. Once we have done that, it is also good to consider an enclosed environment for the fact that whenever we go to peel the backing sheet off of the tint and apply it, that there is not a lot of debris in the air to cause an unclean job. Next, we're going to be creating our slip solution to apply the tint for the vehicle. So you're going to grab your bottle, fill it with water. Mine is already filled with water. Go ahead and unscrew our top and then add just 1.5 to 2 squirts of solution to your bottle. Put our nozzle back on, and then just give it a good shake. Next, we're going to do a little bit of prep work to our vehicle before we apply the tint. First, we're going to open up the door, roll down the window all the way. So whenever using the provided pry tool, you're going to be tucking it down in between the leather on the door panel and the rubber gasket and or seal that you see here. There are metal clips holding the door panel in right here in between the leather part of the door panel and the rubber seal. Pushing down on this clip so that it will release. We have already popped the first 2 clips that are on here. There's a total of 5. After popping the first 2, we've created a little bit of a gap that we can get our fingers up underneath. And for the last couple, we're just gonna give it a little tug to pop the last 3 off. All right, next, after we have used our pry tool to pop all of our clips along the door panel, we are going to be removing the sweep. To remove the sweep, you have to be careful protecting your interior pieces. So I'm just pulling back on the door panel a little bit, getting my finger up under the sweep and trying to bend it as least as possible so that I don't deform my sweep too much. And this is what we're looking for. All right, next we're going to be getting our roll of tape. This roll of tape is going to be used around the perimeter of the window, taping the felt to keep any dirt, debris, and or small particles from getting into our film during our installation process. If you hold the tape at either end, keep it taut and line it up with the edge of our window, fully covering our felt. Next, you will take the plastic wrap that was provided in your kit, pull back the tape, and we will be using this to stick on top of our door panel to help protect our interior. So with our tint kit is provided a small practice piece. This practice piece we are going to go ahead and install, and that will give us a feel for how to tint the window and also to measure our slip solution to know if we need to remake it. So to apply our practice piece, we're going to do some light cleaning work beforehand. So we're going to grab our bottle with our slip solution, spray our top edge of the glass, then next grab our scrub pad, do some scrubbing, trying to get that area clean. Whenever you're looking at your slip solution, if it's providing you a good bit of soapy bubbles, you know you're in a good area as far as amount of slip. After scrubbing it, should look something like this. We're just going to take our squeegee and get rid of that water that we just put on the glass. I'm wiping my squeegee on the towel in between every pass on the window to give me an opportunity to get all the dirt that I may have collected on my squeegee. When applying our practice piece, we're going to want to stage it on the outside of the door. In order to stage it on the outside of the door, we're going to want to clean it first. So spray it with a little bit of your water and slip solution. Take your rag, and we're just going to clean the outside of the window. We can mist it one more time. We'll take our practice piece and position it on the window so that we have somewhere to peel our tint off of. We sprayed our window down and positioned our practice piece up here. The reason we placed this practice piece up here is so it gives us an easy opportunity to peel the backing off of our tint so that we can grab it and transfer it to the window. With our practice piece positioned on the outside of the window for an easy grab and go install, we're going to take our slip solution, spray down the interior of the glass, come to the outside of the glass, and slowly and carefully peel back the liner while spraying the tint as soon as it's exposed. With the tint exposed and after spraying the film itself, we're going to slowly grab the tint, trying not to get our fingers too much on the adhesive part, coming to the inside of the door and slowly applying it in place on the window. If our tint is able to move freely, we know we have the right amount of slip in there. If it gets stuck or if it's hard to move around, you may need a little bit more slip. If it feels like it's going to come off the window, you have a little bit too much. We're lining our film up with about a millimeter gap to the top edge of the glass. Coming back to the outside, checking our outer edge to make sure that there's no light passing through. If no film is overhanging and we don't have any light gaps, the position looks good, we're ready to start squeegeeing. I'm just making light passes left to right, pushing all the water out of all of the edges, trying to get the adhesive to adhere to the glass. After squeegeeing the window, you can take your tuck tool, stick it down your edge at about a 45-degree angle and swipe down and or up, extracting as much water as possible. Once you're done squeegeeing and using your tuck tool, you can grab the film with your fingers, try to move it around. If it looks like it's stuck in place, you're good to go. If you do realize that your positioning is not correct, you can carefully and easily use your tuck tool and or your fingernail and get up under the film. And respray and reposition your film. I'm trying to spray both the glass and the film itself. Now that I've resprayed with plenty of water and solution, I can continue to try to position my film and get it in the perfect spot. You may have to go through this process a few times in order to get the hang of it before you move on to the real pieces. All right guys, once you have applied the practice piece and you're comfortable with handling the film, your slip solution, and positioning the film in place, it is time to move on to installing our kit. Now that we have the vehicle prepped, it's time to start the tinting process. One of the most important steps of the tinting process is the cleaning process. Here's what you'll need: your spray bottle with your slip solution, a squeegee, your scrub pad, and your razor blade. First, we're gonna start by rolling our glass all the way to the top. And then now we're going to spray down our glass. We will then take our scrub pad, try to cover all areas of the window. Roll our window down a bit, revealing that top edge so we can clean it as well. Once you're finished with your scrub pad, you'll take your razor blade and start razoring the window, ensuring that you're covering 100% of the glass. I'm working in an S pattern from top to bottom of the window. Now, once we're done scraping it, we will spray it one last time. Grab our squeegee and start top to bottom. This is removing all the excess water and our dirt that may be on the window. After each pass, I am wiping off my squeegee to dry it and remove any dirt that I may have picked up in this cleaning process. So for our tint kit for your Rivian R1T or R1S, there will need to be a little bit of heat applied to the film in order to shrink it so that we can get it to the shape of the glass. Whenever you receive your DIY tint kit for your Rivian, you're going to see it with the tint as well as a clear film that is attached to the tint. That clear film we refer to as the slip sheet. That slip sheet is to protect the adhesive on the tint. You're going to grab your piece of tint and match it up to the shape of the window, ensuring that you have the proper piece to tint on your Rivian. And to make sure which side is the inside and the outside, you're going to look at your clear liner and make sure that the clear liner is on the outer edge of your tint. So you'll be spraying the outside of the window generously, grabbing the appropriate film for the window that you'll be working on and positioning the bottom edge about 2 millimeters from the bottom edge of the glass. As well, paying attention to your longer edge, leaving that part flat on the glass. Your interior piece can overhang, your top can overhang. Once we have gotten here, we will spray the outside of the film, take one of our squeegees, come down our edge, and then along our top, creating an arch. Continuing to bring the rest of these bubbles, air pockets, and water down the film, starting to reveal some of our fingers. We don't want to swipe through those fingers. We just want to assist and help part them. Now that we have our film on the outside of the glass, we'll be taking our heat gun and our hard card, start from the peak of the finger and work our way down using our card to disappear and get rid of the finger. The reason that we need a heat gun and need to shrink our film is because the film is actually manufactured as a flat piece of material, and sometimes the glass and or the windows that you're working on are not completely flat, so you cannot put a flat object on a non-flat object and expect it to lay down completely flat. So we do get a couple of fingers on our windows, and in order for that film to fit the glass properly, we're going to need to shrink those fingers, and shrinking the fingers allows the film to shrink and form to the shape of the glass that we are trying to apply it to. Now, looking at our film, we have successfully shrunk all of our fingers down at the bottom. You can see some small fingers down at the bottom edge. Along that bottom edge, those fingers are only touching the liner and or the clear part of our film. We don't have to worry about removing and or shrinking those all the way, as long as we don't have any of these fingers popping up on the actual film itself. So we have our film positioned on the outside of the window in the correct position. We've already shrunk it. Now we're gonna do a final cleaning step just to ensure that there's no debris and or dirt on the glass. So we're gonna spray it down, grab our scrub pad, take our squeegee and our towel, and we can just work left to right, right to left, top to bottom. Continuing to wipe my squeegee on my towel in between every pass to get all that extra slip solution and water and any other debris that may have attached to the squeegee itself. All right, now we're gonna come over to the outside and just try to grab our liner and slowly peel back that slip sheet, exposing the tint. As we're doing this, we want to make sure that the film doesn't come too far up off of the glass and or the vehicle, and that we're being very careful not to touch the film because the adhesive's being exposed. We don't want any type of dirt or debris touching or getting caught in our film before applying it to the window. Now coming over to the inside, spraying the inside of the glass as well. And then we can either reach over the top and or make our way over to the outside of the vehicle. Just grabbing the outer edges. And we want to start on the inner corner, just holding our top edge, trying to not let our film crease and or touch any areas picking up any type of dirt in this installation process. Now we're just looking along our top edge, using both of our hands, trying to shift it, leaving a small 1 millimeter gap along the top edge of the glass. We're going to check both sides of the glass on the inside, and then we can also walk over to the outside and look at it from the outside, making sure there's no light gaps. If there is, just try to work with some quickness so it doesn't dry, and just make sure that we get that positioning before we start our squeegee process. We'll spray some water on the film so that our squeegee will glide. And then same process, just start with the top, locking down our top edge. Overlapping passes, making sure that we're getting all that extra water and slip solution out of our film. We can roll our window up, exposing the bottom edge, finishing our squeegee process. One of our last steps is grabbing our triangle and our hard card, going at a 45-degree angle and swiping down our sides to remove that little bit of excess liquid that we cannot reach with our squeegee. Now that we have squeegeed out all of our slip solution and our water from our film, we can grab our towel, dry the area off on the inside and the outside. Once we have it tinted, we can then look back at our job, re-inspect what we've done, and make sure that it's good. If it's not, come back to the inside of the window, and just like with the practice piece, we can peel the top edge, spray it one more time, try to reposition it, get it to where we want it, lock it back down. If we're happy with our product, we can roll it up, do a light mist, and then come back across one last time using a lot of pressure and doing a hard squeegee, making sure to secure our film to our glass. Using our angle tool to come down our sides one last time. Now we can just dry everything off and then either move on to our next piece of film or next piece of glass, and or start reassembling everything. Now that we have our front roll down window completed, we're gonna move on to our front quarter window. So same process, starting off with cleaning, spray the window down. We will grab our razor blade, then our scrub pad, trying to get every last inch of this piece of glass, cleaning it of all the debris and dirt. We will take one of our smaller squeegees so it can fit our quarter window easier, and just squeegeeing off all the excess water and slip solution. Again, drying off our squeegee between every pass to eliminate any dirt that may have contaminated the squeegee. For ease of access, while I'm tinting my front quarter window, I'm just going to position it on this back door. So I'm going to clean the outside of the glass so I have a clean surface to position my film. I'll spray down the glass, grab my quarter, put it on my glass so it will tack up there with the water and slip solution. I can come back to my quarter window. I've cleaned it once already. I'll do one last quick clean. I'll just use my scrub pad since I already razored it. Come back in here with my squeegee, squeegee off that extra water. And then I can spray it down. Come over to my film, again, grabbing the liner, slowly peeling it. As soon as that adhesive in that tint is exposed, I want to be spraying it to avoid any type of dirt or contamination. Be careful grabbing and handling your film, not to get any dirt or debris. I'm going inside bottom edge first, next bottom edge, and just laying it up top. And shift it around. Make sure I don't have any light gaps. Make sure it's not bunched up anywhere. I'm going to grab my squeegee and my bottle, give it a quick spray so my squeegee can glide. And then just start locking down the top. I'm holding one finger here just to try to keep the film in position. Sometimes with your slip solution, it can be too slippery and your film can move around. I'm just making squeegee passes, checking all my edges, making sure I'm not getting any light gaps. For a second time and the last time, and do a hard squeegee and just lock down my film. Now I can come in here with my towel, dry and clean everything off, and then inspect my work. For our rear door, we're gonna need to do a little bit of prep work as we did for the front. The rear door is gonna be a little bit more involved than the front door. We're gonna have to take the door panel off so that we can remove the sweep for an easy install. First off, we're gonna take this stitched area that follows along the driver door handle or the interior door handle. We're gonna start by coming in here, sticking it in between our gap, slowly prying, making sure that we're not damaging any of our leather and or fabric on the inside. Once we create a little bit of space and get our fingers behind there, and just give it a tug. It may not come off all in one solid piece as what just happened here. So you'll slowly have to grab the rear, stick your fingers below the bottom edge, and slowly pry. Your clip locations are gonna be 2 in the top, 2 at the bottom, and then 2 towards the front, nearing the interior door handle, for a total of 6 clips. Now that we have our first interior piece off, we're going to come over here to the door handle. So we'll pull the interior door handle open all the way, move our plastic pry tool on the back side of our cover, and we're slowly gonna pry it towards the interior of the car. And just slide it out. Next, and our final step to expose all of our T20 screws that are holding on this door panel, we're just gonna pull back our cubby. There should be a tab, and we can pull out this silicone insert that's in the bottom of the door, exposing our last T20. There are a total of 4 T20s. You'll find 2 in these locations behind the first cover that we pulled off. Our interior door handle cover that we removed, there is 1 behind it. And then our 4th one at the bottom, down in our cubby. Remove all 4 of those T20s, and then you will be grabbing your pry tool one last time. You're going to start by sticking your pry tool in between your painted surface of your vehicle and the leather. Try not to scuff and or indent any part of the door panel, but we're going to be doing it on this interior corner first. So I have this bottom portion popped out. Just stick my fingers behind it, working from the bottom, and work my way up. You may have to apply a decent amount of pressure to pop your door panel off. I've popped it off all the way to the top. It is pivoting and swinging a bit, still held together by these top clips connected to my sweep, and I'm just gonna wanna lift straight up. So I've removed the top portion, the last portion of my door panel from my sweep. You'll see 4 black metal clips exposed. We're going to take this plastic piece, just slowly roll it back to get it off of our sweep. Then we can start from the bottom of our sweep in our corner, being careful not to manipulate it and or bend it too much. Just slowly working our ways down, getting it to release. Now we have our sweep out. We have everything released on our door panel. We don't want to drop it and or tug it in any way or manner. We have our window switch still connected, and then we have our cable connected so that a door handle still works. In this position, now that we have everything disassembled, we're going to want to line up some of our bottom clips into their appropriate location and have some of those clips hold in place so that now our door panel is held together, our door handle is still operating, Our window is still operating, and we're ready to get to work. So now that we have our door panel taken apart and we have our sweep removed from our rear door, just as we did on the fronts before, we're going to do on the rears. Take a little bit of our tape. We're going to take our plastic wrap and peel it back and put it on top of our door panel so that we can protect our interior. Now we're just going to continue repeating the same process as before on the front door, spraying down my window and grabbing my razor blade. As we move to the rear section of our vehicle, we have our rear roll down window. For the rear roll down window, we're going to have to shrink it just like we did on the fronts. So we're going to be shrinking all of the fingers that we see pop up on our film, and we're doing that shrinking process to ensure that it fits the exact shape of the window. All right, going through the cleaning process one last time before I'm ready to peel and spray my film and position it on this glass. Side to side passes, wiping my squeegee in between each pass. All right, now we're ready to tint the window. Have already positioned my film on the outside of the glass. I've already shrunk it. I've already cleaned the interior of my window and squeegeed it back off. Now I'm just going to spray the inside of the glass with my slip solution. Make my way over to the outside. I'm gonna start peeling the slip sheet off. I wanna start from the side that is attached to the glass. As you can see, this side is overhanging. It'll make it more difficult to peel. As soon as I expose the film, I'm spraying down with my slip solution, trying not to lift it off of the glass too much. Getting it all saturated, being careful not to touch it. With my shirt, any type of cotton that you may have, keeping the film free of debris. I'm gonna slowly come up under the film, just pinch it on one corner, come up under the other corner. I'm going to slowly fold the top edge, work in my bottom front corner, trying not to press down on any of the parts of the film that may be folding up to avoid creasing it. So I started with my inside lower corner, then got my inside top corner. Now I'm working on the right hand side. So my outer lower corner, my outer upper corner. Just pushing it into the sides to remove this pocket of air. And then now, whenever I have the film mostly flat, I can take both of my hands, a little bit of pressure, shifting the film around, getting it close to that top edge, but still leaving a small 1 millimeter gap. Now that I've gotten my film on the glass, I'm gonna do one last step and check the exterior along my sides, making sure that I have full coverage, checking my gap at the top. Now that I'm happy with my position with the film on the glass, it's time to squeegee it out. So I just spray my window a little bit so that my squeegee can glide. Same step as before. Starting my top edge, locking my top down.
Sometimes during the shrinking process, you have to provide a little extra heat after you get rid of the finger to make sure that the film will stay. When having a finger pop up on the inside, you can use heat to shrink it the last little bit, dry up the slip solution, and activate the adhesive.
So we just finished tinting our rear door. We're happy with how the product came out. Now it's just reassembling our door and repeating the process on the other side. First, we're gonna prep our area, taping our felt and removing our door panels and or our sweeps. We're going to clean the glass, we're going to shrink the film, and then we're going to apply the film, then reassemble our car. Now with us, we have an R1S. With the R1S, you do have a few more windows here in the rear section of the vehicle. You're gonna have your rear quarter windows as well as your back glass on your rear hatch. All three of those windows are going to have defroster lines. You'll be able to see these defroster lines from the outside as well as the inside of the vehicle. Whenever we're cleaning those windows, we want to totally disregard using a razor because those razors can damage our defrost lines and then our defroster will not work anymore. So the process for that, we're gonna end up using our scrub pad only, clean the inside of the glass, then squeegee it, and it'll be ready for installation. Whenever we do move to these rear quarter windows, a shrinking application is not applied to these rear quarter windows. They are totally ready for install as soon as you peel that liner off of the tint and you can install the tint as is. All right guys, here's our Rivian R1T fully tinted. We walked you guys through the process of disassembling, prepping, shrinking the film, cleaning the glass, and then installing your film on the glass. If you like what you see here, please comment, like, or subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.